Oh, Nintendo, the king of surprises, because Nintendo just announced that this week, this Thursday to be exact, at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, you're getting a Nintendo Direct, pal. It's a 60-minute Nintendo Direct, but there's one little caveat. There's one little side note that you have to make with this. It is a Kirby Air Riders specific Nintendo Direct. And boy, oh boy, do I have a lot of things to say about this, a lot of questions to ask about this, because it's a very interesting thing. If this was the first time we had a direct for Kirby Air Riders, then okay, I could kind of understand it, I guess. People are interested in upcoming Nintendo Switch 2 games, and Kirby Air Riders is coming out pretty soonish, so all right. But we've had a 45-minute presentation on this game already. So there are different thoughts that are flowing through my mind with this. Why I think this is potentially a positive thing, and why I potentially think this is maybe not the most positive thing in the world. So I want to go over those thoughts with you guys. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, comment, and share as well, as it does help out the channel. But yes, folks, Mr. Sakurai will be gracing us with his presence for yet another Kirby Air Riders Nintendo Direct. Now, this isn't a huge surprise because Nintendo did say at the last standard Nintendo Direct, which was also an hour long, that there was going to be another Kirby Air Riders Direct taking place. And when I saw that, I was kind of like, all right, not quite sure why. I think they did a good job of giving us the gist of this game, but okay, maybe a little 15-minute direct or something like that, like they did with games like, Donkey Kong Bonanza and Mario Kart World. Okay, that's fine. Get all the bells and whistles in. But 60 minutes is obviously a very, very long time. Now, there are kind of two trains of thought when it comes to what this direct is going to have in it. Now, the first thought is, I think, the more positive thought and is what I'm kind of hopeful for. Now, unfortunately, I will not be able to watch this presentation live because I will be taking care of things, some family-related things with the funeral this week. It's actually on Thursday. But I guess the positive train of thought with this is that, well, okay, you know what? There's a lot more secret sauce with this game. There is a lot more secret sauce. There's a bunch more riders. There's a bunch more courses. The city mode is a lot bigger than people are anticipating it being. Maybe there's a story mode in the game as well. This, that, and the other. A whole bunch of additional content that is in the game. And I think that would be the best possible answer in this sort of situation. And I want to kind of give the reason why I feel that way. It's because there seems to be this narrative change that Kirby Air Rider on the GameCube was like this well-received and well-loved game, and it was one of the best games of all time. And I'm not sure where that narrative came from, but the original game has like a 61 on Metacritic. It didn't exactly light the world on fire. Now, I guess it was a fun game for some people, and maybe you're someone who's like, I played that game with my older brother when, back in 2004, and now he's addicted to crack and hookers, and I never see him anymore, so this game's very nostalgic for me. And it's like, well, okay, you obviously have a personal attachment to the game, but it seems like a lot of people have that sort of personal attachment to the game. Now, from the first presentation that we saw, I honestly wasn't like super into it. Like, I thought it looked fine. The graphics looked nice, and the gameplay seems all right, but it doesn't seem like a game that, like, if I wasn't in my position as someone who talks about video games for a living, I don't think this is a game that I would buy on day one. Now, maybe the point of this direct is to sort of change people's minds like that because of the fact that you could show a lot more stuff. 60 minutes is a very long time. It is an hour long. So you obviously have a lot of stuff to talk about that you did not talk about in the previous direct. And that's kind of where the positive mindset kind of turns into the other mindset, which is, Well, Sakurai likes to talk about things. You know, he likes to break down things, get very nitty gritty with explanations and details about stuff, which is fine. You know, a very sort of Hideo Kojima like personality where they like to talk about stuff that maybe the mass audiences aren't, I guess, super interested in, but there is a dedicated fan base out there that would be interested in this sort of stuff. But if we kind of go into a point where we're just talking about things to talk about things to fill up an hour and like, you know, well, this is how the controls work of the game and this is the inside of the analog stick. Like, I'm just kind of confused about, you know, how much content there could possibly be in this game that hasn't been discussed already that would warrant a 60-minute presentation. Like I said, if this was, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes long, sure, okay, I would understand that. But an hour long, I feel like if that's not chocked full of new content that hasn't been discussed already and some big surprises in it, I do feel like people may be a little bit disappointed or potentially let down. But I think the biggest question that a lot of people have with this is, well, why another Kirby Air Riders Direct that's an hour long when there's games like, you know, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment that, I mean, that's probably going to have a more detailed story than something like Kirby Air Riders. You know, could that game not get some of this shine to learn about some of the more intricate details of the game? And then you have Metroid Prime 4 as well. Now, at least with Metroid Prime 4, I mean, there is a bit more time between the release date of that game and the, you know, what's happening right now. So they could do something in November for Metroid Prime 4 to kind of hype up that game and show off, you know, more features that it has, this, that, or the other. But Age of Imprisonment, I mean, that's coming out pretty soon. So I feel like the window has potentially closed on that a little bit. But the crazy thing is, even though those games have so many more secrets, so many more things we don't know about them, I still don't think they would get an hour direct presentation. Because, you know, once you get into an hour on one specific game, like, what is there left for the player to experience? You know? So I don't know, man. I don't know. And, you know, I know there's this narrative that Kirby Air Rider on the GameCube is the greatest game ever. And, you know, how dare I? I saw someone on Instagram said, there are millions of people that are excited for this game. We love the first game. And I'm like, okay. Like, I'm sure you did, pal. I'm sure you did. I'm sure you were a big fan of this game that came out probably before you were born, or maybe you played it with your older brother who now likes cracking hookers. You know, that's where he spends all his money. He's not at the family reunions anymore. He doesn't show up around Christmas time. So all you have are the memories. And to you, I say, I'm sorry that life is treating you that way. And, you know, hold on to those memories. But for everyone else, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to be able to watch it anyways because I'll be in a church service at 9 a.m., a Catholic church service, which I don't think I've ever been to a Catholic church before. It is the mass before the funeral. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing with any of this stuff, but I'm sure someone will tell me and I'll have some detailed instructions on how to be a pallbearer. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comment section down below. Are you hyped for this? Are you excited for this? And, you know, if so, why you're excited for it. If you're not excited for it, let me know why you're not excited for it. And as always, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, comment, and share. Hit the bell as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.